Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. You'll get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And when I'm not asking Bruce, hey, how big was Batista's? Well, you know. One of the things I like to do is help people save money. And if you're watching this video right now and you're in a 30-year loan, man, you're overpaying your single biggest bill and you may not even realize it. I want you to do a little experiment for me. Take your calculator out, multiply your monthly house payment by 360 payments. That's how many payments there are in a 30-year loan. That big scary number, that's your total of payments. You're looking at that number? You know you can do better. Keep more of your own money right now and go to savewithconrad.com. Or maybe you've got credit card debt. Man, it's not a matter of if I can save you money with that. Your average interest rate on a credit card is more than 20%. And by the way, all the interest you pay on those credit cards, it's not tax deductible. Whereas the mortgage interest, well, that is tax deductible. So if you owe this debt, it's up to you how to pay it back. Doesn't it make sense to get the cheapest rate possible and the greatest tax deduction possible? Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. Even scores in the 500s can be approved, and it's no cost out of pocket. But maybe best of all, we're licensed in more than 40 states. We can help more families than ever before. But how much can we save you? Find out right now for free with a quick quote from savewithconrad.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett First Arcade, 605 NWA. TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede. Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Team. Turner, Bodden, Mid-South Joint World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA, and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North they win. Look, Schiavone's back again. World title split off, center stage, Bischoff, Disney, Hogan, and Nitro. New World Order and the Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette, Champ, Vinnie Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules, cat back. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a tip. Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when?
WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, buddy? How you doing on this beautiful? Well, I should say, I guess it had a lot of rain for the weekend, this past weekend, but anyway, it's great to live in the South. It's good to be talking to you once again, right in the middle of college football season. Hey, I do want to say before we start, one of the funniest things that ever happened to the Schiavone family happened this past week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, as you know, I did a Zoom call on ad-free shows.
Right.
Pretty popular. We really had a good time. And for some unknown reason, Lois Schiavone made an appearance.
What?
Yeah, it's her first on-camera appearance that I can remember. Well, ever since we were doing these podcasts. She just walked up behind me and just started talking, put her arm around me, kissed me on the side, on the cheek and everything. And our daughter-in-law sent us a screenshot of the comments by the fans.
Oh, the fans have comments.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Can't wait to hear about this.
And the last comment says, I'd like to credit the person, but I don't have it with me right now.
Oh, wait, hang on. Is this the thing you sent me?
Yes.
Let me pull up our text messages. I do remember this now.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Tons of comments. And our man, Steve Thompson, replies, I ain't gonna lie. Lois has some big ass titties.
That has been the term big ass titties. That's been used around here a lot.
Hey, speaking of big ass titties, I did get a selfie with you and Rebel over the past week. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
We hate you very much in the group chat, by the way.
Well, you prompted that by sending me a picture of you lounging by the infinity pool saying best. So I sent a picture of me and her saying better. And then I get a text from Corey Ryan Forrester of all people, who apparently you guys forwarded it to him.
You sent it to Silva.
Oh, there
Silva posted it in the group chat.
Okay.
Hancock said, "Can we post that on social?" And I said, "Absolutely not." Because out of context, I mean, you're married, she's committed. It's a friendly photo. There's no nudity, but out of context, you know, people are going to stir shit. And I'm like, no. We're not trying to stir shit. He's just stirring shit in our group. We're not trying to stir shit outside of our group.
Right.
Anyway, so, McDonald hit you up and said,
McDonald?
Chris McDonald, you just said.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, Chris Schiavone.
Oh, sorry.
Chris Schiavone walks in the house. He said, "Mom, you sure have some big ass titties." Just hit her with it right. And now everybody's all of her kids are just hammering her with it.
Well, let's also give some context to that, because I'm sure somebody feels like, well, that's unfair to Lois, but Lois used to feed these kids
5 donkey
dicks for supper.
Right. Yeah. So
everybody has a good sense of humor about this. This isn't something where we're picking on someone.
No. And Lois's response was, "Well, I had a bra on that kind of hoisted them up in the air." I said, "That's right, you did, but you still had to have something to fill that bra with." So,
and that was titty meat, of course.
Ooh, a lot of it. So there, anyway, it was a fun thing that happened in the family, and we appreciate that comment. A lot of comments I really don't appreciate, but, and a lot I do, of course, but that was a good one.
So listen, I feel like you buried the lead here. What was it like to hug Rebel?
Well, it's a common occurrence.
Showing off now.
We hug all the time.
Really?
Yeah. When we see each other. Social distancing, of course.
How do you do a social distance hug?
Yeah. You put a mask on, you hug real quick, and then you step back 6 feet and say, phew.
Was that as good for you as it was for me?
Yes. Yeah, something like that.
Hey, before we get going, can I tell you something that I'm just fascinated with? Oh, by the way, I guess we need to apologize. We had to air a best of last week. And usually when we air a best of, it's because one of my co-hosts has a travel situation and it was a last minute deal and we couldn't avoid it. That was not the case for us last week. Tony was rip-roaring ready to go and I had no internet. I had a random power surge at my house last Sunday morning, literally 2 hours before we were supposed to tape. And I thought, oh man, it must've fried my modem. So I tried to troubleshoot it, put in a new modem, no dice, put in a new router, no dice. Try even using, hey, maybe, you know, my white box is out and I just need to use some different power surge or power protectors, whatever. Try that. No dice. Then I think, okay, let me just check the connection on the outside of the house. It's good. Well, let me make sure it's grounded. It is. So I call Comcast, or pardon me, Xfinity. And because I have business internet, they can't put me on a wait list. Instead, they schedule an appointment for 4 days later and they come here and come in the house. And I'm like, it's not here. It's at the road. And an hour later they said, hey, we don't think the problem's in your house. It's at the road. I'm like, no shit. I did that 4 days ago. So, well, okay. We got to get somebody scheduled to work on that. What does scheduled mean? I thought that's what the fuck you were here to do. And eventually, of course, they got it going and now we have internet again and we're good to go. But I have a backup plan now, Tony. Of course, I've got the rig at the office, but it wasn't set up to record through Skype. But now it is. So if this ever happens again, I'll just jump in the car and head down the mountain and bam, we'll record from the office. Won't happen again. Sorry about the best of. We're back at you this week and we're covering Thunder from October 4th, 2000. There's so much silly shit on this, but one thing in particular that always fucking tickles me. So we're a little late, but hey, go watch it with us fire it up on your WWE network, WCW Thunder, click in ring, scroll down the WCW, scoot over to Thunder, select your year 2000, slide down to October 4th. It's 1 hour and 26 minutes. And we'll get going here in just a minute. But before we get going, Tony, I had lunch with Dave Silva last week, not this week, last week. And I made notes about that encounter because he shared some stuff with me that blew my mind.
Oh boy. Go ahead.
We were making conversation with a friend of ours about Dave Silva's, questionable driving record.
Yeah.
And he made it very clear, just with a very casual statement, that I made a huge mistake when I let him drive my car. And we know now that he's dead to us because he ruined my wheel.
Right.
But he dropped this phrase on me. For every accident I've been in, I go limp. For every accident I've been in, I go limp.
Okay. You probably need to explain that. Does that mean later that night or right at that moment or?
Well, I made a joke somehow about if we were going to let Silva drive us back from lunch, we'd still probably be okay. Or at least he and I would, because we have protective karate fat.
Okay.
And he said, "Oh, I know it wouldn't be a problem for me. For every accident I've been in, I go limp." And so what he's talking about is he's not all stressed out and tense when an accident happens. He just sort of goes with the flow and he avoids serious injury as a result of a car wreck. And I found the phrasing "for every accident I've been in," which by very nature means more than one, perhaps even several. And then he just casually drops on me, "Oh yeah, I rolled 3 cars." Dave Silva has rolled not 1, not 2, but 3 automobiles. And I'm like, wait, how's that possible? He said, "Well, one time I clipped an old man." This is just real casually. "Another time I ran a stop sign." What? "Yeah, I ruined a Honda Pilot." How do you roll a Honda Pilot?
Holy shit.
And then he's like, "Maybe the worst though was a Ford Taurus. It was a free car from Dad. And I took a friend to go to Whataburger and they had like the 2 drive-through lanes. So I nailed the ordering sign in the second lane on reverse." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, I didn't want to get in the first lane. It felt like it was too long. So I went to the second lane and it was taking too long. So I was like, man, forget this." So I just put it in reverse and just ran all over the sign. I'm like, "What'd you do?" He's like, "I left immediately." Wait a minute. So you committed a fucking hit and run? Well, yeah. Just real casual, rolling cars.
The third one probably would have been good information before you let him go to Chick-fil-A for you.
Dude, you know, we've got something big coming up for adfreeshows.com. And I think I told you what we got, but there's a really big thing that we're working on that's going to require some travel. And so it's going to be like a long time in the car. So we were all freestyling, me, Dave, and Stan. "Hey, here's what day we're going to leave. Here's what day we're going to come back, blah, blah, blah." And I decided right there in that conversation, Stan, the driving is up to me and you. Silva could never touch the wheel of any of my cars, and he can drive his own cars, but I ain't riding with him.
No.
There's going to be paperwork involved.
We probably should put a dash cam on his car.
Oh, that would be great.
And just, you know, and like,
Here's what we'll do. You and JR have On the Road Again. We'll have Dave Silva in the ditch again. In the ditch again.
with Dave Silva.
Come on. You know, now that I think about that, I rolled a car 3 times and he's very fluffy, I think is the word that a famous comedian uses. Maybe Dave Silva is our own roly poly. Maybe that's the move.
Yeah. I think you've confirmed that right now. I think that's right. You know, some people just can't drive.
No shit.
That's a fact. And
3 cars.
Unfortunately, you gave one of your very nice cars to one of those guys to use.
Well, here's the thing about it that tickled me, I guess. Like, I mean, I guess I probably know people who've rolled 3 cars, but I think they're all like professional race car drivers.
Right.
They're not like they don't work in a newsroom at your local goddamn ABC affiliate.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
That's
3 times. But the phrasing, for every accident I've been in, I go limp. What? Let me check our sponsors this week if I can use a transition from limp. Just kidding. October 4th, 2000, WCW Thunder. Tony, I'm ready to watch this show with you, buddy. We do have a musical interlude I'm going to play for you at some point today, but I promise I'm not going to pressure you to do any sort of rap.
good.
Before we get going, can I just ask, what's your favorite Ricky Skaggs song? Why are you laughing? Do you not like Ricky Skaggs?
I've always liked Ricky Skaggs.
Well, I mean, how could you not? He's got, Don't Cheat in Our Hometown, Highway 40 Blues, You've Got a Lover, Tennessee Stud.
For some reason, I just knew his name was going to hit this podcast today.
Really?
By you. Yes.
I mean, Love Can't Ever Get Better Than This is one of the all-time favorites. I wouldn't change you if I could. Heartbreak Hurricane. Or as Dave Silva knows it, Hillbilly Highway.
Okay. All right. Very good.
What was your favorite moment on Dynamite this week? And why was it that when you referred to Taz as that's just the bass player or whatever, somebody got hot and you looked right at the camera, and I swear my entire living room popped thinking he did that for us. He looked right into the camera for me and Cassio and Dave Silva. I'm sure he's thinking this is going to be a t-shirt in 4 days.
Oh God. Oh, if you guys out there, and you shouldn't, and it would never happen. If you guys were just a fly on the wall to listen to us when we do our rehearsal and listen to JR and Taz go at it.
Oh dude, the tension between them.
Yeah.
You could have cut with a knife that night.
Yeah. Right.
Like after that, JR tried to recover and tee up Taz with something very nice and complimentary. And you could tell if you know what you're listening to, JR is throwing this to Taz for Taz to tag in and have some comments. And instead of having 3 or 4 sentences for Jim, he says, "Yep." And I'm like, oh my God, as much as Taz likes doing commentary and being live on the show and at the desk. Yep. I'm like, this is going to be awesome one day when there's like grumpier old men, the wrestling version with Taz and Jim Ross.
It's just, I mean, JR just gives him so much grief during the warm-ups, or what we call the faxing. And it's just, and Jim that day was in the rarest of moods. I mean, he came in and he was like, it was like a man with a saber. I mean, he was, everybody, me, Excalibur. But Taz, he was like chopped into little bits. And and then when he hit the line, it completely just destroyed us all. And unfortunately, it destroyed us all on camera. So you've got to kind of be cool about it. So
I loved it. And here's the deal too. It didn't hurt anything. It was tremendous and almost great that, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it played off very, very well. It fit everyone's character and I liked it. So I'm excited for us to watch Dynamite next week and see what silly shit we can riff on next weekend.
And then of course, a little glimpse on the inside, I get a text from you after the show. You said on the ride back to JR's condo, you need to play Ricky Skaggs on the radio.
Cause I knew you'd be driving and I knew that you'd have your phone hooked to the Bluetooth. And I'm like, if he'll just fucking turn on a little Ricky Skaggs, not say a goddamn word and just play a greatest hits album on the ride to the condo, you'd probably be 4 songs in before JR looked at you and said, "Tony, what the fuck?" That's exactly word for word what he would say too.
Yes. Oh,
By the way, how is his condo? You got to see it up close and personal. Yeah. JR's got a new recording rig down there, so we don't have to put shows in the can if we don't want to. We can flip, flop, and fly every week now that he's got a rig down there. But you saw it, I think, for the first time, right?
I sure did. It's right on the beach. He has a deck, a small little deck where like you could sit out and just right on the beach. And then in the master bedroom, he has these gigantic shades that are, if you pull them up, the entire wall of the bedroom is windows that face the beach.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I makes me want to live there.
Well, here's the deal. You know, we're going to get the compound in Georgia knocked out, and maybe next we just get you one right by him. Y'all could just be running whores in and out, you know? Here's the thing though. If you get caught and there's an accident, Dave Silva, if he's taught us one thing, it's just go limp. Then you plausible deniability. Honey, I was limp. No harm, no foul. No one was hurt.
Limp being the operative word with me.
That's how I ordered my bacon at Waffle House. Limp.
You like your bacon limp or crispy?
Limp, baby.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, been smoking a lot of meat during football season, and you know I've had the son of David with me for 3 weeks now. It's just been fun, and I really like it because you got to appreciate. I got my wife, our 2 girls, and 2 female little girl poodle dogs. So it's 5 females in this house and me, right? And then so when the son of David shows up, it's like, oh God, finally. We can do boy stuff. So dude, if I'm like, hey, I got to go to the store, he wants to go. Hey, I'm going to the office. He wants to go. Hey, let's go get some meat. He wants to go. Hey, let's go downstairs and watch football. He wants to go. Hey, let's go look at cars. He wants to go. Hey, let's go ride around. He wants to go. So now I'm like, hey, this is like, we got a little barbecue team now. So we've been doing it every weekend. And I'll have you know that the son of David is now a grill master.
Really?
Dude, he did a fucking butt yesterday for 13 hours. He did 4 racks of ribs. All of it's gone. All of my folks were like, oh my God, Connor, this is so good. Nope. Wasn't me. It was the son of David. Little grill, 15-year-old grill master.
That is tremendous. That is a skill that he will use the rest of his life.
I mean, seriously, it won't be that long and he'll be like hosting his, college buddies or whatever. I got it. Yeah. That'll be fun. And by the way, we use JR's stuff for all of it.
Yeah, it's good.
So for the rub, we did the all-purpose seasoning. Yeah. And then, of course we did the JR sauce and everybody loves it. Of course, they thought at first it was a gimmick. Like, oh, you're just trying to shield your boy shit on us. And then they had it and they're like, oh damn, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's Ricky Skaggs' favorite seasoning.
I love you for getting in on it. If you think Matt Coon, when you hear this, we're going to need some Ricky Skaggs music beds underneath Jim Ross's podcast for a little while. Slip them in the middle so Westwood won't hear it and get us in trouble. Because they're not listening to this show. Hey, we got our new contract extensions in for me and you to review from Westwood One. So
yay. Congratulations to Tony Schiavone for knowing Conrad Thompson.
No, seriously, there's a lot of wrestling podcasts that get an opportunity that they sell somebody on giving them some bandwidth and mobilizing the sales force team. And then for whatever reason, it just dies. It just goes away. And that is not happening with What Happened When. We're getting renewed, boys and girls. I'm pretty excited about it too. We've had a great partnership with Westwood One.
It has been tremendous. It is it's completely turned things around. It really has.
Well,
good people, and just people easy to work with. I mean, really easy to work with. So, and that's why they are whom they are. That's why they're the best.
Before we get going, can I tell you one more Dave Silva story? Cause he's just a gift that keeps on giving.
Okay.
Did you know that Dave Silva is a pyromaniac?
That's probably something that's on file in some police precinct or somewhere.
He once set a field on fire, like playing with matches, and it got away. It got out of hand, and now there's an acre on fire. So him and his friend knew exactly what to do, and that was run and hide. There was paperwork involved.
Does Dave Weiss know that he could very easily have some sort of, and probably does have some sort of criminal record, hit and run and arson?
I seriously don't know. Did you know Dave Silva's wife was born in Japan?
I did not know that.
If you will learn that many times if you ever have drinks with her, because the first time, there was massive alcohol consumption at my house and she was involved, it was last Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
And so we had like a bunch of folks in from out of town. So after Thanksgiving, people just start drinking and watching football. Well, then it just extended. So when it got like past midnight, she's almost like a gremlin, right? You're not supposed to, get one wet after midnight, where you're not supposed to have her consume alcohol after midnight.
Okay.
Because she would go reintroduce herself to everyone who was at my house for Thanksgiving. And it would start like this. Hey, I'm Heather, Silva's wife. I was born in Japan. And by the way, she does refer to Dave now as Silva.
Oh,
So in casual conversation with us, because we call him Silva,
right.
she calls him Silva too. But she'll just mention, I was born in Japan. And by the way, I'm only mentioning her now because we have major heat. She's mad at me now.
Well, I'm sure she is.
Why would you assume that you know why she's mad at me? Or that
The only thing she has to do is listen to this podcast and she'd be mad at you.
What have I said or done that would make her mad at me?
Probably that you would reveal some of Dave's criminal activities.
Well, I mean, I literally just did that. She hasn't heard that yet.
Oh, okay. I get it. So she's mad at you before we've recorded this. Okay.
Yes. And
so
I'm trying.
What did you do?
I tried to fly her kid with balloons.
Where did you attach the balloons?
Well, that's the thing. The son of David wanted to attach the balloons to his neck and wrists. And I said that was ridiculous. So we fitted the little kid. It's the little one, Aaron. And we fitted him with a backpack. We started tying balloons to it.
And did he take off?
We need more than what we actually have, but he was for it. But he wanted to be outside, and I'm like, buddy, we don't know how that's going to go. We're going to have to do this indoors.
Right.
And we'll put like my dog's leash on you or something on your foot so I can pull you down. But we're going to need more than what we actually have. But yeah, it's happening. For my birthday, we're going to fly his kid.
Just another day at the Conner Addison.
I've also decided that I want to put Aaron on a shelf. I'm going to dress him up and I'm going to make him my real life elf on a shelf.
Okay.
Anyway, as I've ran some of these ideas past her, I don't think she liked these ideas, but I promised that I would test the whole balloon thing on one of my dogs first.
Well, I don't think it would take many balloons to get baby up in the air.
That's the idea. We're going to fly baby, and we're going to fly one of her like, dog toys.
Yeah.
So that way she's got something to play with up there. And I'm hopeful, baby uses like a little pee pad, like a cat.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we could teach baby to just like air dog paddle over the pee pad and then just do her business from the sky. Right. Like an 8-foot drop on some wee. It'd be tremendous, dude. If you came over to my house and there's dogs floating around the ceiling, you'd be like, this is the fucking greatest place on earth. Conrad is the Walt Disney of Alabama. Look at this.
Yes, you are. Just another reason why the Conner Addison is the place to be.
Dogs and kids in the ceiling.
Hey, got kids smoking meat, dogs in the ceiling.
What'd you do during quarantine? Taught a prepubescent how to smoke meat. Flew a couple dogs, floated a kid, turned an undersized one into elf on a shelf.
Did a lot.
And, yes.
Downloaded Ricky Skaggs.
That's right. And helped a pyromaniac overcome his problems.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a fun show, man. I'm looking forward to it. October 4th, 2000. It's WCW Thunder. We hope you're having as much fun as we are. We're nearly half an hour into this thing, before we ever press play. But Tony, we don't press play with our countdown anymore. Hell, we don't even use Lois because, well, I don't know that she could get to the microphone over them big ass titties. Not gonna lie. But instead we use some of our low key big hogs and our top guys and our glass bottom boat riders. And I think you've got a shout out from one right now.
So let's go to the countdown for our show this week.
Hello, fellow slapdicks. This is Rajiv of Sacramento, California, proud to be a listener of What Happened When. You know, I really think Tony needs to bring back that glorious mustache from 1986. That's right, JR. Tony Schiavone had a glorious mustache in 1986. Now, let's kick it over to the voice of our pandemic, Conrad Thompson, and the voice of our childhood, best friend of Dr. Britt Baker, and the king of the slapdicks, Tony Schiavone, baby! Now here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, play.
How do you describe that logo again, Tony?
The exploding vagina.
Yeah, he's at home hanging out. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Oh, look at this.
We're not going to talk. Vince Russo could have done a better job.
Hypothetically, if you saw a bunch of dudes walking around in a parking lot in street clothes, but wrestling belts snapped around their waists. I mean, those are some
think they're a bunch of idiots.
Bunch of fucking goofs.
Yeah. And they are. And that, with the exception of remove Shane Douglas, with the exception of all that, if you would take the collective that you see on camera right now, there's the reason, one of the reasons WCW went down.
Not Tori Wilson. Don't you say that.
No, I don't mean Tori. I'm talking about the talent pool that you saw there.
Hey, listen to this theme song here. I'll be honest. I had no recollection of this theme song until I watched it back getting ready for this show.
Yeah, me too. I thought the same way you did. I thought, man, it's pretty cool opening.
Oh,
really.
Very cool opening.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, then the show starts.
And this is going to be a show that is long on backstage stuff and short on wrestling, which is what we were known for back then.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry, long on terrible backstage stuff and short on bad wrestling. Man, we're talking October of 2000. We're talking
home stretching.
Yeah, the final run here, man. The Death March is what this was. Long Beach, California is the place you ought to be. I wonder if, and I should ask him, I wonder if the Bucks were in attendance here. Long Beach is not too far, I don't think, from Rancho Cucamonga.
By the way, here comes the human fast forward button himself.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Slapnuts, Jeff Jarrett.
And so we started out with a vignette, and now we're going to have Jarrett in the ring. And then we're going to go from that to a vignette or a backstage thing, and then back to another one. And who knows how long until we get to the first match, which, by the way, is going to have Hacksaw Jim Duggan in it. So, there you go.
Lord.
Is this, does Beetlejuice come out here?
Bubba, no spoilers.
Oh, okay.
But I'm so excited. Cause I'll be honest, that's the real reason we're watching this damn show.
Because of Beetlejuice.
I love that motherfucker.
Is he still, I know you're a big Howard Stern guy. Is he still doing stuff with Stern?
His mom won't let him. What do you think Jeff Jarrett's saying here?
All right, let's see.
Got those Bob Vila glasses on.
Yeah. All right. I got a couple of things to say here. All right. TNA went down to shitter. Impact, not doing much. Me, I married, what's the name of the girl that I married?
Karen Angle.
Oh, Karen Angle. All right. So I've heard all the jokes about me and Karen Angle, and I want it to stop right now. Here's the deal. I am still out there. Well, there's the camera right there. Sorry. I'm still here in the ring. I don't have a belt right now, but here's the fact. I left the WWE to come here to help push this thing down the hill even further. And before it's all over, me, Vince Russo, and everybody here is going to completely, oh my God, there are signs. There's actually going to completely flush this thing down the toilet. Because as everybody knows, I am, as Conrad Thompson would say, and I don't even know who this Conrad Thompson guy is, but I understand he says this about me all the time. I am the human fast forward button. I don't know what that means, but I think what that means is once you tape this show or once you put it on DVD, wait a minute, or even, I don't even think they have DVDs anymore, do they? Oh, no, they do. They have a couple of those red boxes out in front of Kroger, but mostly you guys just stream this stuff. There's a fast forward button that you can hit and you can go past what I'm talking about right now. Because here's the deal. I worked backstage with the WWE. He still does, doesn't he?
Yes.
Okay. I worked backstage with the WWE, and any place that would hire Terry Taylor would obviously hire me. Any place that would hire Billy Kidman. Wait a minute. Billy's no longer with us. Sorry. Any place that would hire Jamie Noble would hire me. Any place that would hire Scott Armstrong. No, I shouldn't have said that. Scott's a good guy. Any place that would hire Scott Armstrong, it would hire me. I am an agent. I am a producer. I am one of the, well, I'm not one of the writers because as we know, they all suck. I am one of the guys backstage that when Bruce Pritchard walks by, I go, yes, sir, Bruce Pritchard. Yes, sir. And I'm saying, Pritchard, not with a T, put a T on your back. I'm saying, oh, what the fuck have we got here?
Dude, this is real. Beetlejuice just came out in a Superman costume. It's got the fake muscles on the costume. And they're even plugging it right out of Howard Stern's Whack Pack from jollydwarf.com. It's Beetle. He's the best.
Are we going to track what he says?
Yes.
What? That's his butt. That's his body suit.
That's not his abs?
How do you know he's not built like that on that suit?
This guy's got abs of
steel.
Okay, thank you.
Listen here, you.
Listen up now.
Come up in the ring if you've got something to say to me.
What did he say?
You already are.
Yeah.
Come on. Get up here.
Come.
What did he say?
I don't know.
And the chosen one.
He said,
so if you
listen
have
here,
something
you.
to say,
To me?
get your little ass in here and tell me.
How smart is this?
This guy's ripped. He could hurt
Now,
someone.
what you got to say about me?
I am the chosen one, and you have no business in this ring.
Yeah, you come across here and you find out.
Whoa.
Oh, he dared him
I'm the
across the
chosen
line.
one.
I'm the
What?
He said he's the chosen one.
Chosen for what?
He's the chosen
Super
one.
Master Bass!
Wait.
Super Master Bass!
Wait, Juice.
He said
What the hell
Superman?
are you smoking?
I'm gonna smoke you.
Whoa.
You want some of me?
I'm gonna smoke you.
Well, put the microphone down and show me what you got. Let's see what you got.
He called out Jarrett.
Look at the biceps on this.
All 3'2" of Beetlejuice.
This
Oh, I
man
guess
is,
you're gonna stretch your stuff then, huh?
man is a genetic freak.
Now he's strutting.
He's trying to show him up. They're chanting Beetlejuice's name.
I've heard it all.
He looks like a miniature Scott Steiner in that ring.
I'm drawing the line, so I'm just daring you to cross it. Come on, give me your best shot. Come on, Juice. Come on.
Yeah, put another knot on his head.
Come on, Juice. Whoa.
Right hand,
Easy, buddy.
left, right.
Easy, buddy.
Call it, Stevie.
Right hand, left, right. He got close with that one.
No,
Kicking the shin.
Shin kick. Behind the knee.
Oh, look at this. Oh.
Wait, no, hold on now.
He went down hard.
No, wait a minute.
Dude, he's about to put Beetlejuice in the goddamn figure 4. And there's Booker T watching on from behind. Scott Steiner attacks him with a pipe. Is it Thunder or is it Clue? Because if you had Big Booty Daddy, backstage with a pipe, you win.
You win. And we missed Sting's appearance.
Of course.
We got him once he was in the ring.
I mean, first of all, oh my God, a fan has just attacked Sting.
They did, didn't they? Oh my God.
A fan with a ball bat. They beat the absolute shit out of him. Now it's revealed. Nope. It's Shane Douglas. Tucking in his t-shirt like a Bischoff. And now look at the ring. Jeff Jarrett has Beetlejuice in a figure 4.
This is unreal. This is unreal. Tony, I got to get back there and check on my brother. I got to go.
And you go to commercial. And there's Booker T. No, I didn't know it was StarCast. I know I had just been at one. No, I didn't know. I know I agreed to appear. I know I said yes. I know I've done this with him before, but I didn't know I was going to get in trouble. And there's Scott Steiner. He calls me ham cubes. I fucking hate it. Killed my business. What do you want? How about Midajah? What do you think she's up to these days?
I don't know, man, but I'd like to find out.
We probably can.
She was absolutely, she was drop dead gorgeous. She was very exotic looking. And watch it get out of the way. I don't think he was supposed to beat that thing up, but he did. You know how Scott is. I mean, you know what he is. He's nuts. Is any update on his bar?
I don't know that he's reopened just yet, but from what I understand, yeah, he was, man, look at this clean shaven Hacksaw. It looks a little bit like Bruce Pritchard walking into Vince McMahon's office. I never noticed the eerie similarities. Clean shaven Hacksaw Jim Duggan looks like Bruce Pritchard's brother. Not Tom, saying he could be a Pritchard brother.
Isn't it amazing that they got him to do this? After all those years of Hacksaw being an American, they got him to be a Canadian.
Well, it's a gig, you know?
Yeah, right.
It's also worth mentioning. This is around the same time. I think I have this right. He had a fucking kidney removed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, 1998. Yeah. Diagnosed with kidney cancer. He underwent successful surgery, wrestled again in April of 99. So at this point, he got through cancer. He can get through WCW creative.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's saying.
Let's make your move, baby.
Looks good with that maple leaf on his chest, doesn't
Ever
it?
since I joined Team Canada, I found a better way of life.
Listen to this, Tony.
And you people should quit fighting it and join me and the rest of Team Canada for a better, more simple way of life.
Okay.
What do you think it's like to be Canadian, Tony?
Well, I think that the rate of return on your monopoly money is pretty good when you come to the U.S.
Mm.
Do you hear Tenay's comments here? Were we turning Tenay heel?
Not only that, Tenay was supposed to be wrestling Midajah at the pay-per-view.
Uh-huh.
But it ended up being scrapped, according to Dave Meltzer.
I do remember that now.
Apparently, Insane Clown Posse was supposed to be at this show.
Uh-huh.
And Meltzer says they were asked to do a job at Thunder and didn't show up. There's something almost comical about even typing those words.
Yeah.
We should also mention that, this is real. Okay. You had, I can't believe this. 1,620 fans paying $47,000 at the Thunder before this. And right before this, you did Nitro at the Cow Palace.
Yeah.
And you drew 1,941 paying fans.
Oh my God.
For $63,000
at the Cow Palace.
You're at the fucking Cow Palace and you drew a Toyota 4Runner at the gate.
That is.
How do you pay everybody?
You don't. I mean, you're obviously losing money here. And okay, if I'm right, and I think I am, this is the show, and we were out there. This is the show that we found out, I believe, that Klondike Bill had died.
Oh, shit.
And we were on our way to,
you're exactly right, dude. He died the day before.
Right.
Damn it.
And we were on our way to Australia after this. That's why we worked out the West Coast. We worked 2 shows out on the West Coast and then flew to Australia the next day to work Sydney, Brisbane, and Melbourne. So I remember how surreal this all was. And we talked about how surreal this was backstage that day. And as we went to the airport the next day, how surreal it was that we were going to Australia and we knew we had big houses. We did. We had sellouts and we knew we were going to do very well, but how this company really was on its ass. And it was almost odd that we were going to go to a place that really wanted to see us and we were going to do well with such shitty stuff. It's almost as if I can use current day stuff, it's almost as if Van Halen was going to Australia after Eddie dies and try to get someone with a wig to pretend they're Eddie Van Halen, and it's not the real thing.
Is this the worst Jim Duggan match you've ever seen?
It's pretty bad.
I mean,
he can't move, man. He can't move.
I'm just saying some of the psychology in some of this is just real bad. Yeah. Like, I love he still got the blue tights underneath because you can't not wear those.
No. And you know, I think, and I know I'm right about this, when business is down, you would think the guys would say, okay, we're going to work harder to try to bring it back up.
Goes the other way.
It sure does. It goes the other way. It's like, I don't give a shit. Look at falling down, man.
It becomes, we suck anyway.
Yeah. Right. I think Duggan is actually, fucking blown up here. Look at Stevie. Sucker's got to know that he's over here with me.
Did you like being, ringside like this or by the entrance set more?
I liked being by the entrance set.
Yeah. I kind of thought you were going to say that.
Only because it reminded me of the good days. This reminded me of the bad days.
Well, you were ringside for like early WCW, like what, 90, 91, 92?
Yeah, but it wasn't like this. We were right up against the ring. The us being outside of the ring
against the guardrail.
Against the guardrail was back in the days when
shit sucked.
Yeah. Look at that sign. NWO equals ratings. Remember? Yeah. I like that sign. That's cool.
I want to mention too, Ming, according to the Observer, was telling people he was retiring from wrestling after this show.
Oh,
there's a fun story in the Observer at a WCW house show in Oklahoma City last week. A 5-year-old child punched Great Muta in the face. Muta spent the rest of the match selling the child's blow, including going back to where the child was sitting. And when he'd see the child, he'd back off acting scared. That's good shit.
That's incredible shit.
First of all, I'm not saying this to be dismissive, rude, or ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm a big Hacksaw fan from when I was a kid. But would you have ever guessed when you watch this, hey, that guy's going to die before Hacksaw? I can't believe the wall is gone and Hacksaw's still with us, especially after he kicked out cancer. All right. So we can see Mike Sanders here talking to Midajah. What do you think Mike's saying?
Well, Mike, I just like to say that these lips have a lot of collagen in them. That's right. But I'm not looking at the lips, if you know what I mean. I'm looking at other parts. Okay. And I'll see you later. Yeah. Oh God. Is your name Sting? I'm not sure. Yes, my name is Sting, you dumb bitch. What the hell? That's my name, Sting. You don't even know you interviewing. You know what? You're just standing up here holding the mic with blonde hair. By the way, Conrad loves blonde-haired women. So the deal is, my name is Sting. They didn't get my shot. They missed me coming in the ring. They were backstage. Oh, I think he was Sting.
Oh, that lady there, she's worth a Google.
Is she?
Mike Sanders, by the way, was in the Observer. It was written, they want to switch the commissioner gimmick to Sanders because the feeling is a heel commissioner makes for a better show, but Ernest Miller doesn't like that the position is being taken from him.
Wow. Real life drama, huh?
The March 18th pay-per-view was moved from the Sky Dome in Toronto. Let's run through that. They had a pay-per-view scheduled for March 18th, 2001. Of course, we know famously 8 days later is the very last Nitro.
Mm-hmm.
But that pay-per-view was supposed to be at the Sky Dome in Toronto. Instead, they move it to Jacksonville.
That would probably be worth chatting up Gary Juster about.
Can you imagine?
Why would you do that? And the only thing I can think of why you would do that is that if it's available, you take it because it makes you seem like a big promotion, right?
Well, it may have been booked so far in advance that they thought business was going to be good. Because once upon a time, you could have done that. But Lord, not here.
How far in advance would it had to been booked?
I don't know. Maybe
2
a year.
years?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe 2 years. Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 years, you would think, all right, well, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Wouldn't have been a WrestleMania, but it would have been a pay-per-view. But of course, it all went down the toilet. These are, I sent you a text when I realized what show we were going to do. And I said, what the fuck are we doing? I mean, I'm going to have PTSD or PSTD, whatever it is, by watching this show. And this does conjure up some terrible memories because I mentioned the death of Klondike Bill and I mentioned going to Australia where look at that.
There's a fan in the crowd wearing a Carolina jersey.
Don't get that one. I remember that this was really, really a bad time. Now, a month later, we would go to Great Britain to do shows. And again, we were vastly popular over there. And it's like, you go to Australia, you go to Britain where we have big crowds and you're thinking, what the fuck? How do we lose? How do we drop the ball on this?
Yeah.
And how did this all come about and why? And why did we let it happen? Well, it was because of lack of leadership.
Yeah.
And again, this is where I think that this is why I think Vince prevailed. And this is why I think, lousy promotion here, but I'm going to do it. This is why I think AEW is going to hang in there, is because the guy in charge is the guy in charge. There's nobody in charge here. Brad Siegel in charge of the company this time? Bull fucking shit. He didn't give a shit. He was looking to line his pockets, according to the Nitro book. But there's nobody in charge of the company right now. And when you have nobody in charge of the company, this is what happens. And I think that's we are, as I can use the old cliche, we are rudderless.
Coffin on roller skates.
Coffin on roller skates, buddy.
KroniK teases the double choke slam on Mike Sanders and they just put him down.
Uh-huh.
And he says, "Are you ribbing?" How about that? So inside. Hey, here's something else in the Observer I wanted to mention to you. Bill DeMott, who at this point is wrestling as Captain Hugh G. Rection, in an interview on WrestlingObserver.com with Alex Marvez, noted he had suffered 6 concussions in 3 weeks doing hardcore matches against Fit Finlay and Brian Knobbs, and was told by his doctors last October that he needed to retire because of the brain damage. He said that even though it is ill-advised, he came back, even though he can't read a street sign anymore. He gets nauseous and sometimes loses his balance. He wants to wrestle for the year he has left on his contract and then retire. He says he's really happy how the MIA gimmick is doing. as they were just cast-offs that nobody had an idea what to do with, and largely he and Chavo Guerrero Jr. came up with some ideas that made them a regular part of the show. Can you imagine just coming out with that information in 2020? That would be handled totally differently.
Oh my God. And it, oh my God, I'm sorry. Something on screen got my attention.
It's Leia Meow and the Jung Dragons.
Yep. Jung Dragons. This is a Jimmy Hart invention. Young Dragons.
I still can't believe that he blew my mind with some of your rumor and innuendo.
What's that?
About, you know.
What? That this was a Jimmy Hart invention?
Come on, I want to Leia.
Okay.
And you said allegedly. She was once
that Jimmy Hart fell in love with her?
Yeah, they were an item for a little while.
I that's what I heard. That's what I heard. I didn't see it. That's what I heard. Look at Scott, man. Holy shit.
He's unbelievable, dude.
Holy shit.
He looks like a real life action figure.
Yes, he does. Absolutely. He looks like a real life action figure.
You want to talk about believability too. Scott Steiner was believable.
Yeah.
He is believable. Hey, so we see a couple ladies out here. We got Midajah out here. We got Leia Meow. And, it makes me think of a new song I want to introduce you to. I played some of his song, another one of his songs before, but this summer, my group here in Huntsville, Alabama, and I guess my group chat, we've become obsessed with a DJ out of New York City.
Okay.
Mark Rebier.
Mark Rebier?
Rebier. Rebillet. And we listen to his stuff every weekend, all the time.
Okay.
But there's one song in particular, it's a freestyle of sorts.
Yeah.
That has tickled everyone I've let hear it. And I want to get you on the train. I want to get everybody on the Mark Rebier train.
Okay.
And I think since we got these ladies out here, this might be the right time to play the clip. Are you ready?
Hold on to your hats, everybody. Here we go. You never know what Conrad's coming up with.
The best part, Bubba.
I want to take a little sniff. It smells like poopy.
Dude, good job on your butthole. You like that's not funny? Look at that hole in your butt.
Oh, like poopy.
Tony's down.
Sky.
Mark Rebier, ladies and gentlemen, check him out. And Scott Steiner has just dispersed not one, not two, but all three of the damn Jung Dragons. And it looks like Leia Meow has something in mind for Midajah.
Holy shit.
Tony Schiavone used to pay money for that.
What, a Steiner recliner?
No, you used to do like, what do you call it? S&M or I don't know.
No,
you went to see a mistress and she hit you with things and you were suspended.
No,
and
you
tied
got me
up.
You got me mixed up with Dave. Silva used to do that and he just used to go limp.
Oh my God. Look at this silly shit. What a bad segment this is. Konnan here being brought in by all the riffraff to see Mike Sanders. Let's track it.
Up cupcake, you get a fresh one of these. Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to argue with you. Look, your legal status to work in this country has just come into question.
Immigration Naturalization Service has brought to our attention the Shane Douglas.
Shane Douglas?
Yeah.
Go figure. Look, I run a tight ship, Konnan. You know that. Squeaky clean, baby. It's quantum physics. It's molecular structure.
I don't care what it is. I'm an American citizen. I don't got to show you jack.
Talk to the Border Patrol, right?
Wait a minute, sir.
Wait a minute.
I'm a U.S. citizen. I got my passport in the locker room. We're about to go to Australia. I'll show you my proof. We'll get this fixed right now.
Sir, I cannot let you leave this room until I see that paperwork.
Wait a minute. Let me go to the locker room.
No.
Sorry, you are a flight risk, sir.
Oh, now I'm a flight risk.
Flight
risk?
risk?
Has something to do with this, Sanders. All you guys, you and your laughing hyenas.
But if you're a flight risk, I guess you're just S-O-L.
And you know what that means.
They won't let him go get his papers.
No, bye.
Tony, what was that?
I don't know. Hey, so we're 30 minutes into this POS show, and we
haven't seen a lot of wrestling.
No, we've seen nothing. We've seen Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Wall, and we've seen Scott Steiner destroy 3 kids, and that's it. And look, one of the greats of all time. Well, 2 greats, but really to your right, one of the greats of all time. Look how he's dressed.
Yeah.
Jesus. It's
Wait a
almost
minute.
like
Wait a minute.
Rey Mysterio didn't exist back then.
Is Ray Ray wearing an Alabama visor?
He might be.
Holy shit, dude.
Or maybe that's an Oklahoma visor.
Speak on this. You want to stick your nose in the franchise's business? Well, pal, I'll handle you in due time. Stinger, you want to call out the franchise? Well, I'll just say, step into my parlor, say the franchise to the fly.
So we're 30 minutes in and we've seen 3 appearances by Shane Douglas. We opened cold with him in the parking lot. Then he attacked Sting in the very next segment. And now 30 minutes in, he's just attacked Rey Mysterio and Juventud Guerrera. What the fuck are we doing with Shane Douglas? I like Shane, but look at Tony Schiavone.
Boy, am I skinny and brown or what?
Dude, you're tan. You got your hair like you like it. You got a V-neck on, you're skinny mini. And of course you got that goofy ass gold chain hanging right there.
Hey, that's a family heirloom.
It looks like a No Limit Soldier chain.
Man,
family heirloom. Is that your grandma's old necklace? What are you wearing there?
I got to get back to that.
Get back to, you're taller than Stevie Ray in these chairs. This is how high your chair is. You're taller than Stevie Ray. You are the real life Rick Moranis of pro wrestling. 5 foot fucking nothing. He's goddamn 6'6", 350 here. And you look a foot taller, you some bitch.
Now, hang on a second. Stevie, look how low today is too.
God damn, this is comically bad. What are you doing? I bet your feet are dangling. Wee.
Yeah. And Tenay and Stevie Ray's chin is just above the
He looks like he needs phone books to see over the steering. Look at him he stood up and he's like, the table's knee high.
Oh
my God. Oh yeah. That's what we need. A Stevie Ray promo.
Like this could be a
Hey,
job.
you know, suckers got to know one thing.
Is that the greatest line ever?
You got a minute? Yeah, you, baby.
Well, not much response from Luger.
He's got his own
Because
sign.
I'm quite sure all these suckers out here need to know why Lex Luger is sitting in this crowd week after week after week. And brother, I gotta ask you something. Baby, what's the deal?
Stevie, are you like really talking to me? Is this WCW television? Because you know, I'm not on the active roster anymore. Is this a sanctioned interview or a non-sanctioned interview, Stevie?
Oh, sarcasm.
Package, this is between me and you.
And the suckers.
And I know it's 5,000 viewers out there right now that want to know what's up with you.
That's about right now. 5,000 viewers total.
You helped Russo, and hell, that sucker didn't even know it.
There's 5,000 viewers in one house. As a matter of fact, there's about 3 million viewers.
Couldn't help yourself.
Aha.
Rep around here, you get in trouble for this interview.
But
Is
suckers
this
are
all right
going
with
to learn, you know.
Is this on TV now?
This is on TV now, brother. This is my segment.
Well, you see, Stevie, such as yourself, I sat home week in and week out, not on the active roster here in WCW, where I have to sit through a bunch of garbage of no talent, wannabe, no-name wrestlers. And I'm saying to myself, why aren't I wrestling on WCW anymore?
Well, because you're not very good.
I don't think so. Aren't I big enough? I don't think so. Aren't I talented enough? I don't think so. But then it finally hit me. Backstabbing and sucking up is what gets guys ahead in this company now. Not talent and not wrestling anymore. And you know what? If that's how you get ahead in this company, then I can do it better than the best of them.
You know, Lex, that's all fine and dandy. But you know, suckers got to know whose side are you really on. Can you please tell me that, Package?
Well, that's a very simple question. I'm on Lex Luger's side now. I take care of myself.
I need moving forward. We're going to have to start referring to you as Package.
Me as Package?
You're Package now.
Okay. I'm Package.
You're Package.
All right. Not the total package, just Package.
I do wonder, we should think about that. Should we give that?
What?
I just realized this is all full circle for me, and it's been right in front of us the whole time. And here we see Mr. Concussion himself, General Hugh G. Rection, walking out through the crowd. You know, the line for Lois we started the show with was big ass titties.
Big ass titties, right?
Those abbreviations, I mean, that abbreviated is BAT, and you are Batman.
Yeah.
You're the big ass titty man. And that would make her Batgirl, big ass titty girl.
Can't make this up, can you?
I mean, this was right in front of us the whole time. I'm going to have to remove Package from you. I'm sorry. Shortest run in history here. But
I am Batman.
You're Batman, big ass titty man.
And she is Batgirl.
I love it. And I think that needs to be a shirt, Ryan. If you start running around sending a bunch of selfies with you and Rebel proclaiming yourself as Batman, my group chat will come to your house.
I don't want Dave Silva or Dave Hancock at my house.
You definitely don't want,
they may wreck something.
You definitely don't want Hancock over. Hancock's going to probably bring he's got a full-fledged orphanage going in Elkhart.
I know he does. He got on that chat, that ad-free shows chat.
Yeah.
Just cussing me up one side down the other, and one of his kids walked in. He put the kid on the lap and just kept cussing me.
Yeah.
And I said, "You got a kid there. Would you stop it?"
His phrase has always been, "I don't care. They ain't mine."
Oh, by the way, if we're going to give a shout out to, and we probably shouldn't, but we will give a shout out to the Sad News Bears. I'd like to just a tip of the cap to, never thought I'd say this on this podcast, but tip of the cap to Matt Kuhn.
What?
Yeah. For helping get the best of show together in a hurry last week.
Yeah. He's not all terrible.
No,
just mostly.
Well, where's the fucking wrestling?
There is none. It's WCW in 2000.
There's nothing.
That's Mike Awesome dressed up like a fucking goof as that 70s guy.
Get out of here. Come on, let's go.
What was that?
Come on.
What? What? Is that? That's.
And he's got Crowbar dressed up like a goof too. Look at that strut though. Man, Crowbar looks like an old school pimp from way back.
Yes, he does.
He's pimping these hoes, slamming Cadillac doors, putting punks in the trunk.
Oh my God. Nothing. Oh God. All right, here we go. Now, here the entrance lights up and the smoke and the lights, and you're thinking that maybe somebody's going to come out and wrestle here, but
probably not. Oh, look, it's a little Goldberg package. All right. So we're highlighting when he won the world title. Are we going to highlight when he ended Bret Hart's career or how he did nothing else ever?
I've told you about that. I didn't realize that happened. When it all went down, I guess that maybe when it all went down, there were people out there that knew. I'm sure they did. But I didn't know it happened.
Do you low key wish, in hindsight, Goldberg would have retired and as soon as he lost, when he lost, just say, that's it. And he's done.
No,
because it would have been the best, 1998. If you just look at his 1998, it's pretty hard to beat. I mean, don't get me wrong. Steve Austin had a better 1998.
Yeah.
But it was all downhill for Goldberg after 98.
Yeah, it was all downhill for the company. Really?
But I'm saying he would be regarded, if he would have retired right after he lost to Kevin Nash, if he would have retired right then, he would have been regarded as like the Bo Jackson of wrestling.
Yeah.
The Barry Sanders of wrestling.
Sure. Back to an interview, Conrad. I apologize. This is not a wrestling show.
No, it's prime for you to do all kinds of, silly interviews in their place if you want to.
Yeah. I don't even know if I'm motivated enough to do it. Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, Goldberg ain't here. Yeah. Unfortunately, one of us ain't here as well. And here's what I say. We're going to go outside. We're going to smoke a doobie. We're going to get you go out there with us and, eat some pizza and then some Oreo cookies with some onion dip. And then we're going to some sardines, some potted meat, and smoke another joint. And hell, who knows? Maybe one day edibles will be fashionable and we won't have to put that shit in our lungs like most people do. Here's the fact. We're KroniK. You know what that means? That means we smoke dope.
Oh.
Okay, guess what? It's time to go back to the ring. Oh, we got a match.
There's finally going to be wrestling.
We got a match. Okay, so we are 41 minutes. By the way, time code. I've got a 41, 42, 00, 42, 01, 02, 03.
I'm right on with you. And here comes Lance Storm. He's got Elix Skipper. Of course, he knows a thing or two about those endless apps. Speaking of endless apps, your favorite, Tylene Buck, Major Guns is here. And of course, Hacksaw Jim Duggan coming to the ring with his jacket open, looking like everybody's dad after they got done mowing the lawn.
God bless Tylene Buck. She doesn't seem to be happy.
Would you?
Would I be? I don't know. She just must be an angle alert or boy, Lance looking good, isn't he?
When doesn't he?
Wow,
let's
man.
go ahead and track it here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Doesn't mean he weighs 235 pounds.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Over the limit.
He's always serious.
I'm in an uncharacteristic bad mood.
I've seen him smile.
I'd like to see a good mood.
Monday night, my man Primetime got ripped off by Mike Sanders and the Natural Born Thrillers.
They stacked the deck.
And Big Sexy.
Well, tonight,
Coach Sexy.
I right a
Kevin
wrong.
Nash.
Tonight, I bring the gold back to Canada. Tonight, I defeat yet another inept American.
And we just peeled the sticker off of
All rise for the playing of the Canadian national anthem.
This was decent stuff from Lance Storm.
Oh yeah, it was. He was a good performer, man.
What a great look he had too.
And he looked the part, and I have jeans on.
Dude, you're like trying to be Cool Mo D here. I feel like afterwards you're going to take everybody to Dan Tana's and have a couple martinis, put your pinky ring on, take your wedding ring off.
Oh,
let
really?
everybody find out why you're the real Batman.
Why do you say this stuff about me?
What did I say wrong, Bubba?
What do you say this? Why do you say this stuff about me?
Because you're cool. You know you're cool. And Pamela Paulshock, she's worth a Google.
Yeah. For some reason, I've got your desktop on my desktop.
Oh yeah. Looking at the old Tylene Buck here. See what she's doing on Twitter these days.
She's right now. She's in not happy here. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's another angle. I like how he turned his head. I like the fact that they had put that Canadian sticker on the belt. And well, finally, who are we going to get? Oh, Jesus.
Stupid ass Mike Sanders for the 15th segment. Listen, I love Mike Sanders, but Lord, Russo was like, he had crutches.
Yeah, he loved Mike Sanders, and he loved, obviously, Jeff Jarrett, right?
And Shane Douglas.
My
God. So what do you think Tylene Buck's up to these days?
I don't know.
Turns out she's got an OnlyFans.
I'm sure she does.
Just learned that. Didn't know that.
Oh, I bet you didn't. She probably still looks very good. I mean, she's probably taking good care of herself.
You said you could see my screen, huh?
Yep. I'm trying not to, but I can.
Well,
it's kind of tucked over here in the corner.
Thoughts and prayers. If you'd like to catch up with Tylene, make sure your wife or kids aren't around, and check her out on Twitter at the Tylene Buck. I'll be honest, didn't realize that you could do all of that and not violate the terms of service.
Hey, by the way, I do need to mention this because I've been pressured into doing this. Whoa, look at that. It's a pretty stiff kick.
Pressured
from
into
Sanders.
doing this.
Chris Schiavone is always trying to make a buck, right?
Yeah.
And he got the hat autographed. And because I agree to do something else, only because I know the money is going to my grandchildren, he had me on eBay sign my Hard Rock Cafe leather jacket.
Yeah. He sent me a picture.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be a big seller. And I was like, dude, I bought the hat. It ain't going to be. So unfortunately, here's what a slapdick your son is.
Yeah.
He has the auction end this coming Wednesday at 11:19 a.m. Central, which means our show would have only been out for 6 hours when the auction ends. So if you'd like to buy an overpriced Hard Rock Cafe leather jacket autographed by Tony Schiavone, it's available at ebay.com.
Jeez. Well, good luck, Chris.
Did I tell you I'm getting one of your bobbleheads?
Are you really?
Yep. I mean, you wouldn't get me one, so I had to get one on my own.
I gave you one that night.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I did with that? I immediately gave it to Silva. Silva is like, he wants to be your best friend so bad.
Yeah. The heck with him. Do you want me to save you money and try to scrounge up one for you?
No, I got plenty of money. It's fine.
Well, I know that, but you're just giving away.
Yes, I want one. Money. I was being a smart ass. Of course I want you to give me one.
All right. I'll give you one. I mean, we don't want some sort of, jack off on Twitter or on eBay, make money off of us.
But I literally let your son make money off of me. Did he tell you what I did with the hat that I won?
Yeah, he said which I don't understand this unless we have a lot of heat, which I didn't think we do. You sent it to Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah.
Why would you send it to Bruce?
Thought it would be funny that he opens his mail at the office.
Yeah.
As I sent it to WWE corporate, attention, Bruce Pritchard, and he's going to open it up and it's going to be an autographed Tony Schiavone Georgia hat
with no note attached, just like it is.
Yeah. And here's the thing. He's going to put it on and take a selfie and send it to me.
Yeah.
He's not going to be Jim Ross. He won't sell it.
Your ribs know no bounds.
Ooh, your butthole. God damn, you got a butthole. He's super talented, Mark Revier. Can we agree?
Oh yeah, he is. He really is. Where's he from?
New York City. Hey, by the way, the Observer around this time period, well, they've always broke it down by promotion. So when you start the Observer, it's like a cover story, what he thinks is the most important thing in wrestling. Right. And then there'll be like whatever the major event was. So if there was a major pay-per-view or something like that, he'll get into that. But then when he breaks down the different news and notes around the globe for the different promotions, he'll have, like, in that era, he would have a WCW section. He'd have a WWF section. He'd have a Japan section, but he would also have an ECW section.
Okay.
Here's the first line from the ECW section. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Everyone got their paychecks this weekend, so they remain 2 pay periods behind.
Wow.
They start with everyone got their paychecks, which lets you know, okay.
And he's still held in high regard.
It's also worth mentioning as we're watching this show 3 days prior. Wow. There's Captain or General Huge Erection again. 3 days prior to this, Christopher Daniels' WCW contract ended.
Amazing.
It's written, Christopher Daniels' contract with WCW ended on October 1st at the end of his 90-day cycle, of which he was virtually never used. He was then called up to work the worldwide show on October 3rd in Long Beach. He then worked the WWF Raw taping 6 days later in Anaheim after flying back and forth from England in between.
You know, I've told the story that I didn't even know Christopher Daniels worked for us. Didn't know that at all.
I want to mention, the match we just saw with Mike Sanders.
Yeah.
Made the newsletter. The general belief is that Sanders' pin on Storm at Thursday's Thunder was Russo's going away present for him, since he was one of the wrestlers closest to him and Russo figuring his days were numbered. A going away present.
Man, did you know what? If you put all this together, me watching this and you giving me snippets from the newsletter, and the memory of Klondike Bill's death that I wasn't able to attend the funeral. Well, this is really a depressing fucking show, buddy.
Do you remember hanging out with Rob Van Dam at this show? Cause he was backstage.
I do not.
Around the same time, Midajah, who we've seen a couple times on the program, filed a $2 million lawsuit against Los Angeles Weekly for using her photo in an ad for a phone sex line. The newspaper blamed it on the advertiser, but is claiming not to know who the advertiser was, which is kind of fun.
Jesus.
Hey, on camera right now, we see Mike Tenay sitting down with MIA, and we see the wall in the back, and there's Chavo. And of course, up front, it's, Hugh Morris, but right behind Mike Tenay, Alabama's own Lash LaRue. I actually got to hang out with Lash about 6 weeks ago, I guess.
Yeah. How's he doing?
He's great, man. You know, totally out of the business, completely heavily involved in the ministry now.
Oh, really?
Still doing his cartooning, his caricatures and whatnot for big events and such. And he's gotten himself in like phenomenal shape. He's actually in better shape now than he was there. And that wasn't always his story. He was like over 300 pounds and then said, you know what? I got to fix this.
Sure.
It looks great. Here's his accent here back in the day.
Looking at 4 guys that have the same mindset. They have the same heart, the same passion, the same drive when it comes to this business. We go out there in the ring, we give it all we've got, and then we give some more. I mean, you're looking at a guy here, the guy can barely walk all the years he's put into this business. This guy, he's put plenty of years in this business, the bumps, you know, the shots to the head. This guy, maybe not so much time, but he's left that much heart, that much blood, that many body parts in that ring also. And you know what? I may only be 23 years old. I may have less than 2 years in the sport, but I've got enough sense to listen to these guys, to follow their lead. And because of that, that's the reason why when we go out there, no matter what anybody else says, what the fans think, what the people on the internet say, we go out there and we have some of the best matches that are had anywhere. And I'm not just talking about this company, I'm talking about in this business period. And we walk back through that curtain, and whether the fans believe it or not, you know, we may be the unsung heroes, but everybody back there knows that we're the workhorses of WCW. They know that we're the foundation, that we're the reason why the people that are shining, that's the reason why they can shine, is because we're unselfish. We give them what's not being given to us.
General Rection, you've been haunted.
How about 23-year-old Lash LaRue?
That was pretty good, actually.
I mean, for a guy who's only been in the business for 2 years, started at the power plant.
Right.
Not that bad. And by the way, does he have a radio voice or what?
Yeah, he does. Very outspoken radio voice. I mean, he could have a show on Sirius XM, music for your pickup truck. Something like that.
Did you ever listen to, Pharrell on Howard 100 back in the day when Howard had a sports show?
Scott Farrell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott Farrell worked in Atlanta for a bit. We had a morning show in Atlanta.
Is that one of the more iconic voices in radio or what?
Yeah.
Check it up.
I know. Beer in the shot, beer in the shot, beer in the shot, shot, beer in the shot, puke. That was my favorite. He used to do that. Yeah. I don't know whatever happened to Farrell. Maybe you need to look that up. But my God, how long is this interview going? You know, and Lance LaRue says fans know when we walk through that curtain, they know what. There's been nobody walking through the curtain in the show. This is brutal. I mean, as an announcer, ringside is pretty fucking easy. You don't have much to say. But holy shit.
Also in the Observer, this is word for word. DDP did an internet post. He admitted he went to Russo and Siegel for a contract buyout, and they gave him permission to talk with Vince McMahon and Jim Ross. He said he had a great conversation with Ross, but never met with he or McMahon in person due to their tight schedule, and said he never spoke with McMahon directly. WCW wanted him back for the September 25th Nitro in Nassau, where it was openly talked about that he would return. He went to Siegel again, said he was willing to be released, but he wasn't willing to walk away from the money owed him. Eventually, he said that in the meeting with Siegel, DDP proposed that both he and Kimberly be bought out for 55 cents on the dollar for the remainder of their contract, which between the two and the remaining years would have left close to $1 million on the table. WCW turned that down. He said he expects to be back after Havoc and said he'd like to restart his feud with Kanyon. You know, it's bad when even DDP's like, fuck this. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he's like the most positive dude ever. So if he's like, nope, gotta go, bro.
Well, you know, I was also in the fuck this, got to get out of here mentality. And my mentality was not necessarily fuck this, I got to get out of here and go to the WWF. It's fuck this, I got to get out of here. I'll take any job at all. I mean, I was literally sending resumes and making phone calls to television stations and radio stations and just to show you how unpopular the business really was on a global level. I guess, you know, nobody, with the exception of one person, nobody even responded to me.
Right.
And I had a lot of TV exposure, but I mean, you know, it was like, fuck. And it wasn't that, the economy was really bad back then. Nobody could find a job. It's just no one wanted a wrestling announcer. And I get it. That's fine. Except one guy named Pete Spriggs took a chance on me. And because he did, that helped me get with the Braves and get with the Georgia Bulldogs. And there you go. So I'll always be appreciative of that. But then again, also, once you get your foot in the door, you know, you make your name. I've always said that. Once you get that opening, then it's up to you to try to make something of your career. Man, I tell you, I got to agree, man. Crowbar is looking pretty fucking good, man.
It's just amazing to me that a year prior to this, Mike Awesome was ECW world champ. People were talking about him like he was one of the biggest badasses in wrestling. I mean, he was the guy who helped, you know, sort of take the torch from Taz. And his size, I mean, it's just remarkable and what all he could do. And he comes over here and y'all start doing this shit to him.
And what's also remarkable, to show you how removed I was, I had no idea of Mike Awesome's ECW past as this was happening at that time. Now, as we watch it here, many, many, many years later, 20 years later, I do know about him, and I do know the Mike Awesome who was awesome in ECW.
It was such a fucking cool thing, man, to see him live. And I know you hate Jeff Jones, but God, it was such a great presentation. When he came out live to a TV taping in Atlanta, you were like, oh, he's going to fuck somebody up. And you just, I mean, he's putting people through tables and that awesome bomb off the top rope and just so much stuff. Like the idea that you could get on the outside of the ring and give a guy what looks like the razor's edge or whatever, where he's on your shoulders and you're standing on a turnbuckle, not just your own weight and you're 300 pounds, but you got a dude in your arms over your head. It's just remarkable. And I got to tell you, I know you didn't really love this, but I was convinced Sean O'Haire was going to be a really big deal in the business.
Really?
I thought in this era, there were a handful of can't miss guys. And if Vince would get his hands on them, golly, they could be everything we thought Goldberg was going to be. And that was Sean O'Haire and Mike Awesome. And of course, Vince got them both and didn't do shit with either. And now, unfortunately, both of them are gone.
Jeez. What can you tell me about Mark Jindrak?
And there he is right there, man, in the ring.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Get a good look at him. You know, he was supposed to be in the Batista spot.
Really?
In Evolution. So it would have been Ric Flair, Triple H, Randy Orton, and Mark fucking Jindrak.
And how did that fall through?
Well, they even filmed vignettes with him, the whole deal.
Uh-huh.
And then ultimately, Triple H just didn't think he had it and lobbied for Batista. And there you go.
Yeah.
Batista got it. And now Batista's one of the biggest stars in wrestling history, Hall of Famer, and now making big time, comic book movies and James Bond movies and stirring people up on Twitter. Did you see he put over, our stupid ass pal, Corey Ryan Forster, over the weekend?
Oh, good God.
You know, Corey has adopted this wrestling gimmick. He calls himself the Buttercream Dream.
Right. And he does without a shirt on, right?
Yes. And a bootleg European title over his shoulder. And he cut a promo and a half on the whole Trump COVID thing.
Jesus.
And it got on Batista's radar. And then it got on some other action. Who played, Thanos? Was that Josh Brolin?
Yes, it was.
So Josh Brolin and Batista both put it over huge. So he picked up a whole bunch of new followers and was DMing with Batista, and he was having a fun little mark out moment. So the Sad News Bears continue to shock and awe when they get the attention of Drax. And by the way, we're not talking about politics. I don't give a shit. Roll Tide.
Thank you for saying that.
Just saying, it was kind of cool to see my friend so excited about one of the Bowies putting him over. Oh, by the way, he's got a stupid ass podcast now called Through the Screen Door. Unfortunately, Matt Coon is on it, so it's not long for this world. So catch it while you can.
What is it about podcasters that when they think, oh, I'm going to start a podcast, they immediately think of Matt Coon's name? What's wrong with that picture?
I think usually they start with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, well, he's too busy. Who else do we know who has audition and is fat? And they just lined up on Matt Coon.
There you go. Can't argue with that. And also I can't argue that, boy, Sean O'Haire did look good, man.
Oh God. He could do so much cool stuff too.
Yeah. But I agree with the thing about Jindrak. Mark Jindrak was a good kid. I liked him. He was very friendly, but he just didn't have it. I mean, he just didn't have that personality. And I could see where Batista would look at that. I can see where Batista would be the man. And of course, Batista, you mentioned James Bond. He was a great villain in the last James Bond movie, Spectre.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I've seen one James Bond movie.
You need to go straight to hell.
No.
And here's
what I started doing though. I decided I was going to watch them all. I liked it and I want to watch them all and I want to watch them in order.
Okay. You know what I'm doing right now? This is a shoot. This is the truth. I'm watching them in reverse order.
Okay.
And right now I'm watching, Tomorrow Never Dies with, Pierce Brosnan.
So how bad do you want an Aston Martin right now?
Oh, I've always wanted one.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was, you can get those fairly affordably now.
What I consider fairly affordable and what you consider fairly affordable, a lot of times are
no.
different.
I'm just saying you can get like a V12 automatic. You can't get a manual, but you can get like a V12 automatic transmission fairly affordably. And if you were willing to do a V8, which I don't know why you would be, but you could do like a V8 convertible, you know, for less than for 70, which I know is still a lot, but I'm saying, I think a lot of people think, oh, Aston Martin, that's going to be like 400 grand. Not always.
Right.
You get a depreciated low miles example. I don't buy nothing new, and I like them, and I've wanted one, but Megan is like, she thinks they're super lame. So I'm going to try to make her watch some James Bond, and maybe she'll come around.
Yeah. The newer Aston Martins in the newer movies are pretty cool, but the one is still the original. You know?
Oh, it's badass.
Yeah. And the original has been used the last couple of movies. So, and it's going to be used in the upcoming movie, which I understand has been delayed till April, which, by the way, is Daniel Craig's last James Bond movie.
Which one? They were using like a DB5, wasn't it? Isn't that the model?
Yeah, that's the model. Right.
How weird is it? I hadn't seen the movies, but I know the cars. I'm a car nut.
I had one time, I had a BMW. This was back during this era in the 90s. And I got a European front license plate, the same number of James Bond's Aston Martin. I think it was like 216A or B or something like that.
Well, that checks out, because you are, as we know, the real Batman.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Did
you see the sketch we're working on? We're working on something big for ad-free shows for the holiday season.
Well, good.
And I got a sketch, and I wasn't sure if you saw it, but it involved you. Have you seen a drawing of you yet?
I have not.
It's awesome.
Okay. Now watch Jindrak here. See, he's left-handed, and I don't know. He's
playing wrestler, as Bruce says.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. He's playing wrestler.
By the way, Crowbar underrated.
Yeah.
And Crowbar's doing a lot of interesting, videos and vignettes on social media lately. You should check him out.
No, I won't.
He's doing some sort of character where he's like in a wine cellar and he's drinking wine, but he's doing shoot comments. It's entertaining. I think you would get a chuckle out of some of them. Oh, look at the athleticism on Jindrak. Look, here's my move from dude. Sean O'Hare's swanton. I know I'm going to get all kinds of hate. Send it now. Hey, it's Conrad. It's more impressive when he does it than when Jeff Hardy does it, because he's so much bigger. And oh, by the way, he totally took care of him. And it's just really cool to see guys this size do it. But you know, of this group, of this tag team, to me, Sean O'Hare is the Shawn Michaels, and well, Mark Jindrak's the Marty Jannetty.
Well, you know what? They're putting in some time in this match, which is good. And actually the kids are working very hard.
Yeah. You have 4 very capable performers. You know, at this point, you've just got Jindrak, who's just right out of the power plant. I mean, so he's a shoot greenhorn. Whereas, you know, by this point, Mike Awesome's been wrestling forever, all over Japan. And of course, ECW world champ. Just dude, look at his size. I mean, he can't miss. And somehow it didn't happen. Another one of those things that I know some of our friends get annoyed when we give a bunch of credit to Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman had us all believing that Mike Awesome was a fucking certified killer and the biggest monster and badass in wrestling. He went to another quote unquote wrestling genius, Vince Russo. They made him that 70s guy. He goes to Vince McMahon, not much better. But somehow Paul Heyman made us believe. And we see that time and time again. Like, look what Taz was in ECW versus what they did with him in fucking the WWE.
You know, I would think that this time of year, Halloween, Thanksgiving, talking about fall and pumpkins, that it would be a very popular time for Paul Heyman.
What are you saying right now?
Because his head is as big as a jack-o'-lantern. Just think it would kind of, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've been wrong before. But here now we got it. This is, how many of these matches have we seen that have used a table? And here we do it again. And the spots that you see a lot now of guys, jumping on a lot of guys on the outside, really not well done right there.
Hey, when you head back down to Floridia,
and
you're hanging with your main man Taz again,
yeah,
I'm gonna need you to bring up just casually, when y'all have a little bit of time, hit him with the old. So hey, just so I know for clarity, Taz was a Halloween gimmick, right? Because it is.
What?
I mean, dude, it's black and orange.
Okay. Yeah. Right. You're trying to get him. You're really trying to get him to beat my ass, aren't you?
Well, the deal was, I don't know that you remember this, but we watched Barely Legal, and it was admittedly your first ECW show. But whenever Taz would get punched by Sabu, so when Sabu's on the offense, candy would come out of Taz's singlet. Trick or Treat Jones. Buff Bagwell's here. He didn't wreck that car, so I'm not sure that's him.
Okay.
By the way, he's okay. I know people think I have heat with Buff Bagwell. That is not true. When he did have that accident, I texted his manager right away.
You did?
To see how he was and if there's anything we could do to help. And I think she too thought we had heat because it maybe caught her off guard. But dude, I want the best for everyone. I know he's going through some particular struggles or challenges, but I don't hold that against him. That ain't even really him. He's in the thick of it. And I hope he can pull the nose up and get back out here and do what he used to do very well.
Well, sir, you are a gentleman that you don't hold grudges. You're a good man.
Well, not just that, I have my own theory on that. And I have some people in my life where I've had some experience where they were going through some things, and I've learned, hey man, that ain't them. Don't be mad at them. Be mad at what's happening in their life and love them where they are and hope for the best.
That, my friend, is something that everyone should do. So there you go. Always be kind to people. I mean, we give people shit, don't we?
Oh, we love doing that.
That's right. But in reality, we want the best for everybody.
Of course.
I also do need to mention this. Our good buddy that we had dinner with in Vegas a couple of years back, Jim Valley, is not doing well.
Oh my gosh. I'm glad you mentioned that. Oh, here comes David Flair.
Yeah.
With the flared up cheeks. Yeah. Jim Valley has a GoFundMe right now that we should mention because you're like the low key superstar over there. I know there may have been bigger donations, but those bigger donations were from, multi-millionaires, but you're dropping some major coin over there, and it's for a great cause. A friend of ours in the wrestling community. And originally they were trying to raise like $5,000. They've got it to 47,000 and change. They've moved that goal to 50 grand. He's been in a battle for his life. He had some sort of autoimmune disease several years ago and, had a really scary situation. And now it's just gotten worse and worse, and he's deteriorated and he's not in a good way. So he's got a long road ahead to pull the nose up. And if you are even remotely familiar with WrestlingObserver.com and the work they do there, or you follow what happens in Japan, or you were a big fan of Portland wrestling, you know all about Jim. And what you may not know is you and I would not be doing this podcast if it weren't for something that Jim Valley was involved with. He was the guy on stage with you in Charlotte at the NWA Legends Fan Fest, and your personality was the talk of the convention. And I was like, I got to get this guy. And I managed to see the tape of that meeting and thought, this is our man right here. And sure enough, What Happened When was born. But I don't know that, if you wouldn't have felt comfortable with Jim, that you would have just felt comfortable being yourself. And because you were comfortable being yourself, you won me over, and now we're doing a podcast.
Yeah. I credit Jim with a lot of that. I also credit Jim with the fact that he, after we did that sit down or did that little, stage show, whatever you call it, he came to me and he said, listen, you need to do something with your personality. I don't know if he used the word personality, but he said, you need to do something, be it a stage show, a podcast, whatever. He said, I'm telling you, you're making a big mistake if you don't. And that was the first inkling I got about, maybe there is something to this. Then, of course, you contacted me not too long after that. And like you said, it was all born. So I credit Jim Valley with a lot of this. Not only that, because he's a great guy, and I've donated some money, and I hope you'll find it in your heart to help him out too, because he's a good man. He really is. What was that doctor trying to do? Was he trying to?
He wanted to do a DNA test here.
In the ring.
Flair, figured out if he's so innocent, why would he do this?
I don't know why, but I do know that our
man, how about Tori?
Yeah. How about Shane Douglas? He's able to go to the ring with Francine in ECW and with Tori here in WCW. Huh?
I mean, how many Shane Douglas segments are we going to have here?
Well, we're getting ready to have another one because he's going to wrestle.
Sting in the main event.
And they got 10 minutes left in the show. Next week, by the way, from Sydney, Australia. See, there we're on our way. Wow.
Hey, did you see over the weekend they did Joey Janela Spring Break 4 and Ricky Morton wrestled Joey Janela?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think?
I noticed that it happened. My good friend, Nick Mahmood sent me a picture of Joey Janela, and I think maybe Ricky, I'm not so sure. Somebody was all bloody. So I have no comment on that. I don't know what to say about it. What did you think?
Listen, I wanted Spring Break to happen WrestleMania weekend in front of a sold out crowd hanging from the rafters. It's a different thing to watch a Spring Break type event in a socially distanced crowd.
Right.
I mean, the match was great. I had a great time watching the show, big fan of everything, blah, blah, blah. However, it's just not the same. And that show in particular has always had such rabid fans that it's hard to imagine it without it, but we got to see it. And, it was a long show, but it was a good show. I think it was like over 4 hours.
Yeah.
I spent most of my Saturday, I got to be honest, doing the football deal. I think it's maybe one of the better football weekends in a long time. Alabama had a barn burner with Ole Miss. Arkansas and Auburn came down to the wire. I really had high hopes for Miami Clemson. That was obviously Miami's biggest game of the year, but holy cow, Florida losing to Texas A&M. Wouldn't have guessed that.
That was the highlight of my weekend, by the way.
I would not have guessed that you guys were going to start with a fumble and a touchdown from Tennessee and thought, hey, we might have a game here. And of course y'all pulled away as I expected, but didn't think it would start quite that way.
Yeah.
But the game of the weekend, well, I mean, I guess if you're an LSU fan, you probably were devastated that Missouri beat you, but it's not a surprise to me when you win the national championship, all your studs leave and go to the NFL. 2 weeks later, you get $42 million. 2 weeks later, your wife leaves you. 2 weeks later, you start posting shirtless selfies. Feels to me like you got,
yeah, Coda. I ain't worried about no football. I'm worried about finding me some of that boom dang. Coda.
The greatest football team or game of the year, and it ain't close. Oklahoma, Texas, the Red River Shootout. Overtime after overtime after overtime. Your man Jim Ross was not enjoying that, but me as an outsider who didn't have skin in the game, so to speak, God dang, that was a great football game.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, of course, because I was busy, but I understand it really was. I sent JR a text, Boomer Sooner, after it was over, and he sent me, that smiling hat emoji and go Dogs, and I'm sure it was great. Man, what is it about me? What's going on in my life here? You need to analyze me here.
Okay, I'm ready.
Why? I know why I'm removed from politics, and I know why I'm removed from what's going on in the world because how bad things are. And I'm the type of person that tries to stay away from bad things that drive me down, right? I don't want to be negative. I don't want to have things drive me down. But why have I lost my interest in sports? I've completely lost my interest in sports. And when I was growing up, Conrad, I was passionate about it.
Let me help.
Okay.
Do you remember the movie Brewster's Millions?
Yes.
So in the movie Brewster's Millions, Richard Pryor finds out that he had an old, rich, white relative who's going to leave him a ton of cash, but he wants him to learn that money isn't everything before he gives him the cash.
Right.
So he's going to give him a bunch of money and he's got to spend it like crazy in a short period of time. And if he can do that, he'll get the big, huge sum of money of his inheritance.
Okay.
But the lesson was he got caught as a younger man smoking cigarettes, and his parents locked him in a closet and told him he couldn't come out until he smoked the whole carton.
Mm.
So the little kid wound up just getting literally burnt out on smoking cigarettes, and he grew to hate it because he did so much of it.
Mm.
That's what happened to Tony Schiavone in sports. You weren't just a fanatical sports fan. You were a fanatical sports fan as a kid who loved it. It became your passion. So your entire life was then dedicated to sports. Started with baseball, then it went into football. Into wrestling. And then it went back into baseball and back into football and into basketball. And it wasn't just something you enjoyed watching on TV as a kid or enjoyed researching in your own time as a kid. It became a job, one that became all consuming in a way that I don't think a lot of our listeners understand. When you and I were first doing this show, you were on a bus with a bunch of kids younger than some of your kids.
Oh yeah.
All over America in minor league ballparks, living out of a suitcase in hotels. And it had to be a grind, being away from your family, being away from your dog, being away from your house, sleeping in hotel beds on a bus all over America and B towns and C towns, sleeping in La Quinta Inns, and then going and lugging equipment, setting it up, filling out the box scores, and having to force yourself to be excited about the same thing day after day after day after day. So I'm sure for the first several months or few months, it was the greatest thing ever. But eventually you were like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Just want to go home. And you did it long enough that now you're like, I don't even want to watch it on TV. And I get that, but I haven't been on a bus at minor league ballparks, lugging around equipment, sleeping in hotel beds. I'm in my recliner downstairs teaching a 15-year-old how to smoke meat and having some Crown Reserve. I'm fine. So my passion is a little different than yours because I never got so close that I hated it. I mean, I'm not saying you hate it necessarily, but it just became a job and you just want to do something else.
Yeah. It has no interest to me. You and I record this normally on Sundays.
Yep.
And I will not watch one NFL game on a Sunday. Not one. And I used to just be tied right into whatever the Washington's football team did. And I'm excited when the Jaguars win because of my boss and because, we're part of the company and I want them to do well, but I'll just check the score later. Maybe I should get into gambling. Maybe I should get into betting. Maybe that would drive my interest back, doing it over and under or something like that.
Well, what might be fun would be, when you guys have an off week or when you don't have to do a Georgia game one day, you should come over and watch it with my dad. I sent you a video over the weekend where I filmed my dad, or I had my dad filmed. I had the son of David click record for me. And my dad just absolutely flipping out at every play.
Yep.
And sent you a clip that you found hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And that to me is the fun. Like the fun of football is fellowship. I want to have, 3 or 4 buddies over. Let's have a few beers, turn the game on, and let's bust balls and laugh and be entertained.
Well, here's another table in a match.
How about Sting with a Vader bomb? Did you see that?
Yeah. The Sting working pretty hard here.
But Sting with a Vader bomb, I don't remember seeing that.
No, I think you're right. But look at Sting just, he got hit with a chain. The chain was slipped to him by Tori. And who's got Tori? Oh, Konnan does.
Arriba La Raza.
You're not kidding. We want ECW and LB. That would be Long Beach. And the guys in ECW want their paychecks to be right on time, by the way.
Yes, they do.
Just let that guy with the sign know that. Okay, he's plugging something else. Oh, well, here we go. He started the show, and now he's going to finish it off.
Let's track it.
That's what they were talking about earlier in the back. Into the franchiser. Oh, man, he's out.
That's a terrible finishing maneuver, by the way.
Yeah. Into the franchiser. What the fuck?
Shane Douglas beats Sting on Thunder. And it's with a little help. The assist. Not just from Tori throwing him the chain. Konnan tried to equalize that. The assist came from Jeff Jarrett and a balsa wood guitar. And that puts him down, and that's all she wrote. That's going to bring a close to today's episode. We got Beetlejuice on there.
Oh man, this was a brutal show. And if you're thinking, hey, Tony and Conrad didn't pay much attention to the show. No one did back in 2000 either.
You know, before we get out of here, I feel like I need to remind you who Beetle is.
This is Beetle, is as bad as can. He knows he's the best. This is Beetle, is as bad as can. He knows he's the best. He's big and he's strong. And he knows he's better, and he knows what he gets. He knows what he knows, and he knows what he has. And he knows what he gets better. He's a tough guy, and he knows the best I can. This is Beetle, is his.
He knows he's the best, you see.
Yes.
Tony, what are we doing with our lives?
Well, at least when we get together for an hour and a half or 3 hours a week, we're having fun.
We're going to have fun next week. We're going to watch, we're still a week behind, but I like the schedule we got laid out. So we're going to do it. God damn it. October 17th, 1987 World Championship Wrestling next week. That's right. Some 1987 NWA. Why are we watching this show? It's Sting's first time on WTBS. How about that?
Wow. Memorable moment.
Without
iconic
question.
Moment, right?
Oh, right. Dude. It was a tease of what's to come. What else is to come? Well, it's simple. After that, we're going to do an October 05 Raw where Vince McMahon is going to pull JR's head out of his ass. And then we're going to do Halloween Havoc 1989, where we'd see Flair and Sting on one side, Muda and Funk on another. Our bonus show, and I'm pretty excited about this, will be the Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view, which I believe is the worst pay-per-view in history. Well, we got a really great November plan. November to Remember 2000, which is the next to last ECW pay-per-view. We're going to watch November 12th, 1988's World Championship Wrestling, the famous match where Ric Flair gave George South the match of his life. On November 18th, it'll be Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling from November 16th, 1985. What was notable about that one? It's the Hard Times promo. We're going to watch the whole show.
Wow.
Then we'll wrap up November with the episode on the 25th, of course, just in time for Thanksgiving. Starrcade 1985, The Gathering, Flair versus Dusty. And as a special little bonus over on adfreeshows.com, we're going to watch Starrcade 86 as well. I'll go ahead and tell you December too, while we're here. Why not? December 2nd, we're going to watch the December 8th, 97 Nitro. That's the one where Sting as a dummy falls through the ring on our march to, Starrcade 97. We're going to watch the Go Home Nitro for Starrcade 98 on December 9th. Then we're going to watch Starrcade 98, and we're going to famously see the Goldberg streak come to an end on December 16th. We'll watch the Go Home Nitro for Starrcade 96 on Christmas Eve's Eve. And then we'll finish out the year on December 30th with Starrcade 1996. The NWO is running wild all over WCW, and Roddy Piper is here to put a stop to that shit in Nashville, Tennessee. And our Patreon bonus, we're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to watch Bill Goldberg punch a limo on Thunder.
Ooh.
And we're at least going to watch the first part of the WCW All-Nighter from 1995, which you have a few fun little stories about. And, it's since it got populated on the WWE Network, we've had lots of requests for that. So we're going to finish the year real strong, Tony. And I've already got, believe it or not, all of next year mapped out. I'll share that with you and let you peruse it and see what you think. But when I run through what's coming the next couple of months, dude, I'm pretty pumped. This is going to be a fun, last quarter here on WHW.
We got a lot of great stuff to watch. We hope you'll watch it with us. We got some memorable, iconic moments that we all remember, and maybe some moments that you've forgotten. And it's going to start next week when you get to see Sting for the first time on TBS. That should be tremendous.
But at least for now, Tony, it's about that time.
And here comes Dave Silva to the ring. And here is Dave's. Oh my gosh, he's got brand new entrance music. Apparently it's been written by Matt Coon. I'm Dave Silva. I'm Dave Silva. I set places on fire. My son smokes meat with Conrad. One of my sons are going to float around the house in the balloon. And Heather's going to be pissed off at Conrad. You know, she was born in Japan. And Dave Silva. I wreck cars and go limp. And my name is Dave Silva. I'm the Mexican Beetlejuice. And we're desperately out of time. See you next week on What Happened When. We come to you Wednesdays on Westwood One. Don't forget Mondays for our good fans, our good friends, our compadres on
Patreon. That's patreon.com/WHW Monday, where you get all these shows early and ad-free. And of course, some bonus action, including Zooms with Tony, run-ins with Lois, and a special little prize pack for all of our top guys. And next year, the greatest WHW get-together ever here in Huntsville, Alabama. Check it out right now, patreon.com/WHW Monday.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.